guys, it's Alice here. We're going to spin the big wheel of birth and see what topic we're talking about today. Okay, good one. Today we're talking about eating in labor. Eating in labor. So eating in labor, it's one of those topics, we've had a few on the big wheel of birth that vary greatly depending upon a few factors. First of all, eating in labor can depend, your ability to eat in labor can depend on the facility where you're giving birth. So some hospitals have regulations on eating in labor. So they might say no food in labor, only clear liquids in labor. You might be able to eat unless you get an epidural. So some hospitals have different restrictions on when eating is allowed in labor. Now, interestingly enough, some hospitals promote eating in labor, and I've actually been in a hospital where they have brought my client a tray of food in labor, a chicken pot pie to be exact. So it can really vary from location to location. It can also vary because of your provider, and then like I mentioned briefly about whether or not if you get an epidural, sometimes when you get an epidural, you are limited to clear fluids. Sometimes you are limited to ice chips only. And then in some places, the clear fluids you might be able to eat a broth, a jello, so you have a little limits on your eating in labor. Now, what does research say about eating in labor? So interestingly also that research supports the need to eat in labor. So as doulas, I would say if I spoke with other doulas about this topic, we would feel the same way. That did really research have to be done to show that people do better when they have energy to labor? I mean, it seems like common sense, right? Going hours and hours doing a physical activity with no kind of fuel, I mean, is that going to work really well? Probably not. And so research came out that where they gave people in labor protein shakes, and with the protein shakes, they saw some improvements in labor. So I'll try to find that study and link it below if you want to check that out too. What I recommend as a doula and a childbirth educator, one thing that you do have control over is eating in labor when you are laboring at home. So when you are in labor, it's great to have a house full of foods that you like to eat. And really a variety I think is important. Something that has carbohydrates, something that has good healthy fats, something that has proteins. Also some easy to eat sort of on your stomach can be good, like toast, like yogurt, like cheese, peanut butter, nut butters can be really great. So having a variety of foods like that. What I don't want you to do is forget to eat. So partners, this is where you can really help out. Instead of asking your partner if they're hungry in labor, just go fix a plate of some snacks and bring it to them. But maybe on the plate you might do a peanut butter sandwich, some sliced apples, some nuts, and some cheese, and just bring it over and offer in labor so that they can have a pick of a different variety of what you bring. And this is really important. Sometimes you don't want to think about, what do I want to eat? What can I make? I don't know. And for someone just to make it for you, that's excellent. Now, if you are a family that eats smoothies, making a smoothie in labor is an excellent idea. I know I was working with a client, and she and I were upstairs and she was laboring, and her partner went downstairs, whipped up this delicious green smoothie with some protein powder and some almond butter and some spinach, and it was her favorite smoothie and she loved it, and it was so great for her to take small sips in between contractions. So it's another idea. Just make sure that you have those foods that you like to eat in labor, or foods to make good smoothies as labor is getting close. So you certainly don't want labor to happen and you have nothing in the fridge, unless you live right next to a grocery store and you want to make that your early labor activity. That is an option. So eating in labor is really important while you're still laboring at home. And then once you get to the hospital, that's where the hospital policies, you will probably want to know. It's a great question to ask during hospital tour. And then the other thing is, maybe there's not a policy, maybe you're just snacking anyway because you know your own body and you're going to do what you're going to do. So it's really up to you. But fueling yourself and staying nourished is important in labor. Now, one thing that I've heard that I just thought I'd share is sometimes I hear healthcare professionals will say, you know, don't eat your favorite foods in labor because you might throw up and then you'll have a bad association. I don't think that's true. I would rather have foods that are my favorites and that I like. And unless you're someone that you feel nauseous already, maybe don't eat your favorite foods. Maybe eat something more bland or something. But yeah, have some snacks available. Pack snacks for the hospital. Definitely partners need snacks and need to be eating through labor so that they can stay nourished. So their eating labor is always encouraged. Just don't eat anything smelly so that it smells up the room and bothers the person in labor. That's definitely a hot tip for the partners. So eating labor, I want to hear your questions, your experiences. What do you want to share? Put them in the comments down below. I love that comment space, not to be so lonely. That would be amazing. Hit the like button if you found it helpful, and I will see you guys next time here with another spin of the Big Wheel of Birth. See you next time. Bye.